Welcome to Red Barron Reviews. I'm Barron, and today we're going to be starting a series on my favorite AR-15 family, the Dissipator. This video is going to be number 1 in this series, and this is going to be kind of the groundwork for the rest of the series. So in this one, we might get a little long-winded, but we're going to talk about what is a dissipator, where did it come from, and why. We're going to talk pros and cons, maybe some current market offerings versus building one, and then how it compares to a modern AR-15 rifle that you can get today. So with that, guys, let's kick it off. For an AR-15 to be considered a dissipator, you need a few key components. That's going to be a rifle-length handguard, a fixed front sight block, and somewhere around a 16-inch barrel. In modern terms, those things make an AR-15 a dissipator. Other than that, you can plug and play. You can go with a collapsible stock, a fixed carry handle, you can go with optics, you can run a rail, whatever you want to do, but you need those few key components. Now here's the catch. Most dissipators that are floating around now really aren't at all a dissipator. In technical terms, they just look like one, but they're carbines. Now let's go into why that is. Let me grab the M16 clone. To know what a true dissipator is, we have to go back into history. So when the M16 was issued, the military immediately wanted a carbine for their special forces and other personnel who didn't need a conventional rifle. The manufacturer at the time saw that the easy fix would be to cut the barrel back to the front sight block, add that muzzle device, and call it a day. What they ran into was a gun that was severely undergassed. So to fix this, they opened up that gas port a little bit, which allowed the rifle to operate correctly. That is technically what a dissipator is. Now, because of legalities and the ease of manufacturing today, we can get by with things like just a rifle-length handguard and maybe run a mid-length system with a 16-inch barrel. But technically, if you're going to run a true dissipator, it needs to be the correct barrel length with a rifle-length gas system. Now let's talk about pros and cons. The biggest advantage to running an AR-15 dissipator is the sight radius. You get a rifle-length sight radius and the same size footprint as an M4 carbine. And what I mean by sight radius is the difference in distance between the rear sight aperture and the front sight post. So to put this in perspective, I've got a standard M4 style clone, and we'll take a look at what that actually plays out to be. As you can see, that is a huge difference in sight radius. Not only that, that brings us into the second advantage of running a dissipator, and that is handguard space. With a standard M4 style clone, you really don't have a lot of handguard space. Going with a dissipator, you get the rifle length handguard. So really these were pretty forward thinking, especially for their time when they came out. But how do they stack up compared to a modern AR-15? When comparing a dissipator to a modern AR-15, we have to realize that the dissipator hit its heyday in the mid-2000s. It wasn't the introduction of a flat top receiver that put the nail in the coffin. It was the introduction of an M-LOK or key mod free float lightweight rail. With a modern rail, you can achieve rifle length, sight radius, or longer at less weight, and generally squeeze out a little bit better accuracy. For the average shooter, are you going to notice that? Probably not, but that is the way it is. The thing is, the dissipator still holds a really cool spot in pop culture. In the Bourne Identity movies, it makes an appearance a few times. In some of the Vietnam movies, it makes appearances. They're huge in gun culture right now. No matter how you build one out, it's going to be some form of a retro gun just due to the age of these. And they're a really sweet setup, especially if you're going to run iron sights. A A2 or A1 style front sight is pretty much bomb-proof. If that gets damaged, the gun's probably out of commission anyway. A detachable carry handle, a Daniel Defense fixed rear sight, or a fixed carry handle, same thing. Really bomb-proof construction. They're simple. If you're going to run iron sights, this is an excellent platform to do that with. You get the sight radius, you get the rifle-length handguards, but you get something that takes up the same footprint as a standard size AR. So kind of a niche role, but they do really work really well as a truck gun. It's something to throw in the gator if you farm, or just something to go to the range and have fun with. So with that, guys, stay tuned for some following episodes. We're going to go over this specific AR that we have set up here and what I use it for and why I've set it up the way I have. We have a few different comparisons, an A2/A4 versus an A1 build. We've got a Colt 605 build video where we'll discuss should you build or should you buy. We have several things coming up. And then lastly, I want to do one on a mid-2000s at the peak of what a dissipator could be, how that would be built out. So we have several videos coming up, guys. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And as always, stay free.